You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.
I see you, baby.
Yep.
I see you, baby. Welcome back. We are back after another 2-week hiatus.
I hate that we do that. You need to stop. Stop traveling.
Seriously, it all just
quite
revolves around me being gone. But we're back. That's all that really matters.
Yep. Very, very true.
Maybe you should just start coming and doing them by yourself, because now we have this new call-in feature, so you can just call me.
Honestly, I've thought about it, but I feel like it can't be called Relationshit. It needs to be a different one, like the fuckery of Los Angeles or something.
Yeah, which brings us to what we're going to talk about today, actually.
Wow,
Jeez.
that's a great title for today's episode.
The fuckery of Los Angeles. And what the fuck it takes to live here. Dun, dun, dun.
So much. But before we do that, what have you been doing?
We got to do a little recap, I guess. I have been gone again. Surprise, surprise. Basically, this last weck, I took a trip to Oakland for our favorite event of the year.
Rolling Loud. Woo!
Got to go up with the boys again. We set up the skate park for Monster Energy. Shout out Monster Energy and Monster Music for having us again. Such a good time. Huge shout out to Dan Hubbard, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Hubbard. He is our dream team captain and puts all these shows together for us. He's the man. Can't be done without you, and I appreciate you, Hubbard. But he lined us up another Rolling Loud event in Oakland, and I think this might have been the first time that we had drama-free Rolling Loud.
It was quite boring, yes, actually. There was no, well, I can't say it was quite boring and then say there were no shootings, because that's, like, very insensitive. Fuck.
It was boring. Nobody even got shot this time. What the fuck?
Just kidding. Fuck. Real dark, real quick. But, yeah, it was kind of, like, nice, right? It was nice. Nothing crazy happened.
When I was in Miami, she was calling me every 20 minutes like, oh, my God, did you hear there's a shooting? Oh, my God, did you hear there was a scare? Oh, my. And I was like, baby, I'm okay. I swear. Lil Wayne didn't even come. He didn't get locked up. Kodak got locked up in Miami. 2 different people got shot on the way to the concert in Miami. And then Oakland is like the most ghetto place ever. And even last year, our truck almost got broken into. Almost all of our ramps got stolen.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily they got scared or something like last second and didn't quite pull off the procedure. But they sent out like a big email blast this year saying keep your shit locked up, because last year and the year before there was so much stuff stolen. People, like even the security guards on site, were stealing shit. So they were like, if you have anything, just keep it with you, because it's not worth it. You're going to get shit stolen. This year, nothing happened in Oakland. Nothing got stolen. Our trucks were good.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, I pull a back muscle because I'm getting old, but...
Yeah, actually. Oh, my God. You have been walking around the house. I can't move. Oh.
I'm an old man.
Oh, my God.
I think she's put probably like 3 gallons of CBD on my back at this point.
Way more than that. Are you serious?
It's permanently CBD lubed up right now.
Yeah.
But
slippery, nice and CBD slippery.
Ooh, you like it when I'm slippery?
Oh, slippery like a snake.
I'm a slippery little snake.
Anyway.
So yeah, Rolling Loud in Oakland was a success, and we're just waiting on the word right now to find out if we're coming back to LA. Crossing our phalanges. That's
crossing
the best
those
time.
fingers.
We have some good stories from last year. We made some good podcasts out of it.
Dennis Rodman, Tyga.
All the above.
Yeah.
Smoking blunts on the soccer field at the stadium. That was pretty dope. And, of course, good skating, like always.
Yeah. Very true. Can't forget about the whole fucking reason why we were there, huh?
But, so Rolling Loud was a success. What happened before that? I was in Louisville. Can't remember if I talked about that or not. Yeah, because I was with Scoop.
Yeah.
We had the Scoop interview. That was the last time we were in here. Feels like forever, but it wasn't that long ago.
Well, we have a huge thing to tell y'all about Tommy Chong.
About Tommy Chong.
Dun, dun, dun.
I swear we told him last time. I can't remember. I don't know if we told you guys, but we got to kick it with fucking Tommy Chong a couple weeks ago. Like the biggest thing ever to happen to us at this point in our smoking careers.
And hotboxed, not even just hung out, but we fucking hotboxed with him.
And that wasn't even on us. We basically got to meet the man, the myth, the legend, and he was in love with Sloane. Oh my God, let me just tell you, he was looking her up and down, just, oh, pretty lady, get closer. Hey, excuse me, pretty lady. No, do you want to get a little closer?
Wait, we looked at his wife. We Googled his wife, and my grandma told me that that's exactly how I'm going to look whenever I was her age.
She's you in 50 years.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
crazy.
It's so weird. So I could see why he was giving you the side eye. He was
For
like,
sure.
oh, that's basically my wife, just 50 years younger.
No, I don't even think she's that old. She's very pretty.
Yeah, she's
very
a
pretty.
very attractive lady. But yeah, so as we were meeting him, we got to hang out and like kick some bullshit on the couch. Told him about the radio show. He told us that he used to be friends with Jimmy and had all these cool stories about him back in the day and them hotboxing. And then somebody had the bright idea of being like, "What? You guys want to go out and sit in a car and hotbox later today?"
Well, fuck yes, we would. Are you serious?
Seriously, I literally couldn't even explain like how excited we got right then. And it was like, yes?
Yeah.
To the bear shit in the woods? Of course we want to fucking go smoke with Tommy Chong. So we got thrown into the car and once again, he was like, get closer, baby. He just loved him some Sloane. But
yeah.
it was really cool. Got to make friends with Tommy Chong, I think. I think we can say we're friends with Tommy Chong.
I agree.
So,
he's going to come on.
Yeah, we're working on the details of that, but we're going to
Yes.
get Tommy on here one way or another. I don't know if we're going to get him in the studio, but we do have the new call-in feature, so we're going to either have him call in or we'll give him a little call and see how he's doing. Maybe next episode we'll line that up.
Yes, absolutely.
But we have some cool stuff coming up, too. Obviously, I always seem to be involved with these festivals, and now the smoking's becoming more in our culture, and it's being more open. For the first time, LA City and County is getting behind a festival that is based around cannabis. And it's not just a come to the festival, smoke, watch rappers kind of festival.
It's at the Biltmore, which is hugely famous for one of the last places that the Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short, was seen at.
Sloane knows her paranormal stuff.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, so it's going to be like a very clean, aesthetic, organic situation where the first day is actually a festival. So there's going to be a bunch of brands and pop-ups, and they're going to be all over Pershing Square, downtown LA. LA is allowing smoking to go on down there legally. You don't have to worry about it, and it's free to the public. First day is going to be crazy. I think Method Man, Ghostface Killer. There's going to be a bunch of crazy acts. Tommy's actually... Oh, excuse me, Tom. That was a stinky one, huh?
Ew.
But Tommy's going to be one of the speakers down there. I know Michael Rappaport is going to talk some shit. He's going to be one of the speakers. I hope he gets into one of his NBA rants. He goes hard. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
And we are currently in the process of working on a skate ramp setup. I've had like 3 different companies be like, yes, yes, yes. And now they're like, I don't know. So if anybody knows anybody that wants to sponsor a skate ramp for this High Hopes Music Festival, it's going to be worth it. Not only is it a festival, but it also is the second and third day are going to be the speakers. There's going to be a job fair that is cannabis based. So you can learn about how to get your hands into the actual industry. You can learn how to invest. You can learn how to start your own companies. And there's just going to be a lot of like knowledge and information being spread there. And it's all in the greatness of cannabis and what's about to become of it. A lot of hemp and CBD stuff happening there. And I'm just glad that we get to be on the forefront of it. It's going to be really exciting and hopefully open a bunch of other states' eyes to the goodness of it.
Hopefully.
Stop sending people to jail for this shit, man.
I know, and release everyone on marijuana charges. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think.
DJ Paul, one of our actual good friends from 3-6 Mafia, I saw him put out a post yesterday that made me laugh so hard. This will actually jump right into our next subject perfectly. So There's a new cafe in LA called Lowell Cafe. And we haven't had the pleasure of trying it yet, but we plan on it this week.
Yes, this week for sure.
Lowell has actually sent us a few different goodie bags. They do like CBD smokes, and they do just a really good line of like pre-rolls. And
my biological dad loves their weed.
Yeah, we might have sent him some, and he loved it.
Yes.
So this company has started the first ever in the state, or in the United States, I think.
Yes.
I think they have them in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they're
that's
just
not in
coffee
the United
shops.
States, babe.
The first one in the United States, which is something we definitely need. And it's really cool because they keep it super clean, and it's just very...
It looks very, very, very pretty and nice. And everyone's happy, and no, they don't serve alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
which I
that's
thought
rad.
was so cool because I'm very team weed and not alcohol.
I don't even think we've even explained what it is.
I don't think so.
So Lowell Farms is doing the first Lowell. It's called Lowell Cafe, and it's a restaurant where you can order food and you can order weed and you can smoke while you're eating, before you're eating,
Or you can
after
even
you're
bring
eating.
your own weed. It's like a $20, like it's like a cork fee, like a corkage fee or whatever.
Yeah, if you bring your own bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And it's just BYOB, bring your own buds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be one of the sickest things in LA. They've already had like lines around the block. It's huge.
Crazy.
It's going viral for sure. Everybody is about... I'm excited to go try it. That's
Me
for
too.
goddamn sure.
I'm super excited.
But, sorry, let me just put my Chong's Choice cannabis
Oh my
chapstick
God.
on.
You're ridiculous.
This chapstick has CBD and THC in it.
Oh, speaking of that THC, why don't we light it up?
Oh, you
know?
ready to smoke, baby?
Oh, for sure.
Let me light mine, and then you can light yours because you'll need the lighter more.
Yeah. Sounds like a
Anyway.
plan.
So Lowell Cafe, they literally serve all your like favorite foods, and the food looks really, really good. Our buddy Glenn, that's been on here before, he already went.
Yeah,
posted
he
up.
fucking cheated. What
Yeah.
the hell, Glenn?
Thanks for the call, Glenn. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for the invite, bro. Excuse you. Yeah, you still owe us from that 4th of July fiasco.
Ooh, called out. Might have to get you back on here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm leaking. Oh, here you go, baby.
You're leaking.
There's just buds falling out.
Oh, I thought you like were your nose is leaking or something.
So yeah, shout out to Lowell Farms. Congrats on everything with what they got going on over there. If you guys come out to LA, if you're not from here, I would definitely make that like a #1 hot spot to check out because it's the first of its kind. It's the first in the country. And there's nothing better than having an Instagram photo before everybody else.
Wow, that was so cringy. I just have wow at
You
Christian
can go hit the pink wall
Soraka.
right after. Oh my God.
Oh.
The angel wings.
Gosh, my butthole is clenching
I can
at the
tell.
thought.
So
Jeez.
cringy.
No thanks.
What else are we going to talk
Well, we were going to talk about like the subject of today's episode,
about? Yeah.
which is the fuckery of Los Angeles.
And why it's basically almost virtually impossible to live here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I forgot DJ Paul. I forgot to...
Sorry, finish that story.
Rewind.
Okay, rewind it a little bit.
Back to Lowell Farms Cafe. So the reason we got into that was because I saw a really funny post from DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia. We had, back when I did the other radio show with Tilo and the boys, he is good friends with Tilo, so he would come on all the time. And he's just a really cool dude, but he put out a really funny Instagram post yesterday that was like, damn, if I was sitting in jail for a joint that I had 20 years ago, I would be really fucking pissed off right now. I would be shitting a brick, actually, that they're opening a cafe where you can order weed and the bud tender slash waitress stewardess lady comes up and asks and tells you that, oh, this citrusy blend of sativa matches very well with this fruit bowl that we have. And it's like pairing wine with cheese now. And there's people still in prison for a joint that they had 20 years ago in the 90s. And they're sitting there looking at what's going on in the world today where you can go and sit down and have lunch and smoke weed. But
it's really sad, to be quite honest. It's pretty awful.
Where you at, Kim K? I thought you were getting all these peeps out.
Yeah, come on, girl.
I'm just excited for the day.
Oh, no. Your boy is working on taking the bar exam. Maybe you should ask him.
Oh, Aaron. I wanted to stray away from the subject just because of
I know, and the second I said it, I regretted it. I am so sorry, but you know. Aaron Carter.
It's not drugs. I don't think it's drugs. He's always had like this weird attitude to him. He's a child star. He was Justin Bieber before Justin Bieber.
And mind you,
things you have to give him credit for. His parents fucked him over with money when he was a kid and stuff. He was told yes his whole life to every single person ever while having millions of dollars.
Mind you, this sounds exactly like Amanda Bynes because that's exactly what she told us. That was her downfall, is that no one told her no. And she specifically said that, like, she grew up, being so famous and she was never told no. So,
and like, as an adult, you can manage it a lot better. Because, I mean, if most people get famous when they're an adult, they master their craft in their older ages. But when you, sorry, what's up?
Do you want some?
Oh, yeah.
Little smoke break.
There we go. Little guy, sorry. But, when you're just told yes, you can have whatever you want as a kid, it can alter your mind and the way you think about reality. And, I mean, at certain points when me and Aaron were hanging out all the time, there was times where I had to literally be like, no, man, like, that's not how the world works. Like, you can't talk to people like that. And we had that issue when we were with Amanda.
Yeah, she, some poor tourist woman came up to her. She's probably like in her 30s or 40s. And she was like, oh my God, I love you, Amanda. Can I just have a photo? And she turned around and said, no, you're fucking ugly. Bye.
I don't take photos with ugly people.
Yeah, it was really sad. I had to go apologize about the whole thing.
And then that was on our way to dinner. Then we get to dinner with her. And granted, this was all in her like super crazy mental breakdown stage. We were trying to help her. It backfired on us.
Yeah, and then we went to a Mexican spot, our favorite Mexican spot, literally down the street.
And she ordered a bowl of guacamole for dinner.
I thought it was a bowl of beans.
I swear it was just straight guacamole.
I don't remember.
But she ate the whole fucking thing and then went back
also,
up to
wait. She piled it with like the entire thing of salt. Like an entire salt shaker of salt on top of the guacamole. She took the lid off
and just poured it on
guacamole. Oh my God, it was terrible because she said that, should we be saying this?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. She said that the government had implanted a microchip in her, and the only way to counteract that microchip was to eat a lot of salt.
Mass amounts of salt.
So that's what she did. And then after she was done with this just weird plate of salt and guacamole, she took it back up to the the workers and said, oh, I hate this. Give me my money back. It was terrible. Even though she licked that plate clean.
She literally licked it clean and tried to get her money back. And they were like, that's not really how it works, ma'am. Not knowing who she was because it was just like a little taco shop and they were like oblivious to it. But
it was pretty freaking terrible.
And then on another occasion, we took her out to dinner and I had to apologize to the waitress because she was this really pretty cute little old lady.
So cute. So sweet.
She flipped on her and did the same thing, called her ugly, told her she was nothing and like all these like insults and everything.
And I was so embarrassed that I pretended not to be with them. And I was just on my phone because like, what do you do in that situation? Oh dear God, it was so humiliating.
It was a weird, hard situation. I had to get up and go tell the waitress like, hey, I'm sorry, she's going through some stuff right now. She's not on her medication, blah, blah, blah. And the lady was cool about it. But it's just weird being in those situations from the get-go. I mean, we walked in on her shaving her armpits and she was laughing hysterically. And that was probably the scariest.
With my razor.
Yummy.
Delicious. Oh, gosh.
That's funny.
So sad. But that brings us to the Aaron Carter situation, which, I mean, Christian is really close with him, whatever. That's cool. But I'm always Team Adam 22.
They did a really good podcast, but I feel like Aaron has a hard time of like figuring out if it's a setup or if like people are laughing with him or if they're laughing at him. And I feel like that was one of those situations where he was trying to laugh and they were laughing at him and he thought that they were laughing with him. And so after he left, then he like realized it and people were like, no, what are you talking about? That they were making fun of you the whole time.
See, I'm just not going to say anything because I'm genuinely like scared of him. So I feel like I can't like accurately put my opinions out there, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird situation. He's my boy, so it's like, I don't know. I need to reach out to him, see how he's doing. That's all I'll say. You keep telling me to, and I need to. But also leads us back to what we were originally going to talk about. Jesus.
Yes, so the struggles of Los Angeles.
Yeah, and like
we know it
fact
best.
That it's so fucking hard to live here. So the whole topic of today's episode is everyone that lives outside of LA just thinks that it's this warm, glorious place to come live and you're going to become a celebrity and a superstar. And what a lot of people don't understand is you have to have this insane hustler's mentality to live here. You honestly cannot survive on one job, especially if it's like a part-time or a 9-to-5. There was a great meme that me and you sent back and forth to each other, I think at the exact same time. We do that a lot.
Because we're ridiculous.
We just read each other's minds. But it was like, Los Angeles is so hard to live in that you literally have to have a 9-to-5,
a sugar daddy,
a
YouTube channel,
a podcast, and
a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was
just to survive, the bare minimum.
And it's so true because, I mean, our rent is $2,000 a month, and it's for a studio apartment, glorified.
Okay, so we don't have walls separating our bedroom or the living room.
We have walls, okay? We have a roof over our head. We have walls.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. So I'm saying, like, there's no wall separating or door separating our bedroom / like living room.
We have a wall, but it's got cutouts. It's got an arch in it. There's no door. So
which I love that, actually. But like for what we're paying right now, we could be in my hometown in Texas living like kings and queens.
But we would have so much more. And like that's the other thing that makes it so hard to live here is a lot of people outside of California, they pay $1,200 for a mortgage, but it's for a beautiful house. Like when we just went back to Utah last week for my best friend growing up, my best friend in the world, Tyler Hess. What's up, Tyler Hess? Bitch, congratulations to you and your beautiful lady.
Yes,
you guys had an amazing wedding, and your boy Nixon put it down.
So good. That's
my godson. He put it down on the dance floor at the wedding. It was so cute.
So adorable.
We'll post some of that stuff later on the grams if you guys want to go check it out. But anyway, they have a beautiful house. Like this is a gorgeous house in a neighborhood. They have a huge backyard, and they pay less than what we do for our tiny little box.
It's extremely discouraging. And mind you, they have 2 children too. Like it's enough room for 4 people. It's a huge ass, beautiful house.
And like what sucks is if you have some kind of extra income in Utah, you're able to use that income to make more money. You can use that money to invest because your cost of living is so cheap. And a lot of people that live out there kind of don't see that as far as like how we live. They see us on TV. They see that we have a podcast. They see that we do all these things. And so they expect you to have all this money because you live here.
We're broke ass bitches.
We are hell broke all the fucking time. And it's so frustrating because we find ourselves like getting these big opportunities that pay out like a good amount of money. But what you don't get is you think that it's going to be the big come up and we're going to be okay now. Like, oh, baby, we got that $20,000 check. Life's changing for us.
Oh, God,
And then 2 months later, we're going, fuck, you got Wi-Fi this month? Shit, I forgot to pay it. Let me check the bank account. And it's just insane like how much different money flies out here. You can't go a day without spending $100. If we leave our house, we spend $100. Like parking, gas, everything is just so much more to live here, on top of the fact that you're paying so much more for rent for nothing, and you feel all this weird obligation to like leave because you're like, if I just went home, I would have all this nice stuff. I could be a normal person.
And mind you, I've gone on these breaks before where like I just get like so discouraged and like say, fuck you, LA, blah, 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 whatever. And then I will go home, but only last for like a few weeks because you're like, this weird thing just keeps pulling you back.
It's like you know how much is going on out here. You know the opportunity. And that's what sucks is once you learn how to maneuver through this weird little like Hollywood shit, I guess. Like, you're like, oh, it's there. It's like I could either go to my local hometown lottery store and buy a lottery ticket every day, but my chances are way greater to just bullshit and have to pay for all this extra stuff out here because the lottery ticket's 1 in 50 if I go to an audition, not 1 in 500 million to win that. Like, any of these auditions could be the big break. Like, Emily Ratajkowski is one of the biggest like sex symbols.
I love how you said her last name.
Ratajkowski. I don't even know. But she's so big, and she's in our favorite shows. She like is killing it right now as one of the biggest actresses in Hollywood. But 5 years ago, she came from a fucking music video. Like, she was just a girl in a music video that got a little extra notice. And it's like, stuff like that happens so often. And even if it doesn't happen like that, like we were saying, we get these opportunities where I'll do a commercial and I'll make $30,000. You'll do a TV show where you'll make $40,000. And to a lot of people out there, they can turn that money into so much. But for us, you don't know when the next check's going to be. So we have to obligate and be like, okay, that might be the only money I make this year, other than like little bits here and there. So you have to try and like figure out your finances for a year. And it's the most frustrating fucking thing.
That's horrible. Not even to mention the trials of Los Angeles. I have been through some fucking shit out here.
From the people.
Oh my God.
It's like anybody out here is just trying to get to the next level. They're trying to climb this weird ladder. And if you're in their way and you have something that they want, they will climb right over you and not only try and use what you have for them, but they'll also try to throw you off the ladder at the same time for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, quite often. Oh, my God. Like, where do we even start? For example, do I talk about the DUI? Do I talk about my roommates? What do we talk about?
I mean, I would start with the DUI.
Okay, so I had gotten this beautiful car for my 18th birthday / graduation to come out here with, and it was my dream. It was a Jaguar S-Type 4.0. It was beautiful. I had to replace the engine, transmission, electrical system. So much shit went into this child of a car.
White girl problems.
Yeah, white girl problems for sure. This is very unlikable and unrelatable, but that's okay because I don't have that anymore.
The next part might be relatable.
Yeah, the next part. Well, actually, I just feel like it wasn't because I got fucked because we live in Los Angeles. But anyway, so I am out with my old best friend and roommates, and we go see our friend play in a band, which is really weird because he's not here anymore. So we went and saw We Came as Romans, and we were really close with Kyle Pavone.
R.I.P.
Yes, rest in peace. But he was in the car, and my other friend and his friend, and I had one Red Bull vodka, probably like 2.5, 3 hours before I even started to drive. And I literally called my mom before I started to drive. I had to tell her something hilarious, and she knew I wasn't drunk. Like, she knows that. And so we were in downtown LA, so we were, trying to get to Hollywood, but it was a crazy, crazy traffic jam and everything. And so we just ended up actually going through like the streets rather than the freeways. And so then that led us into a checkpoint, a DUI checkpoint. And my mom had always taught me that you always refuse a breathalyzer, like always if you've been drinking, especially if you're underage. And I had this one drink like 3 hours before I even drove, and I drank a lot of water. So I just honestly thought that everything was fine. And so I passed all the sobriety tests. They asked me to get out of the car, passed everything, and then they automatically arrested me because I refused the breathalyzer, which I had no idea that was illegal. So
I think it's only illegal here.
I
once
honestly
again, back
do.
to California.
Yeah, once again. And so they were supposed to tow your car. Like, that's the whole thing. They tow your car, and they take you to jail, I guess, for the night because I had refused a breathalyzer, so they made me do the blood work. But they, like, didn't even let me sign off on anything. Like, they took my blood in the middle of a downtown Los Angeles parking lot. That's how awful these people are.
Which is so sketchy. Imagine,
disgusting. It's just the most gross shit everywhere.
Something was
It
floating
was just
through
awful.
the air.
No, hell no. In
There's
downtown
fucking
Los
typhoid
Angeles.
fever going on down there.
Typhus.
Typhus, whatever.
Yeah.
Some kind of typhus.
Some medieval disease that you only get from literal piss and shit in the streets. So I was pissed off about that, and I told them I cannot have my blood taken because I have really low iron, and like you can't even see my veins. Like, I would need like a lot of water. I told them that, and I was like, I'm gonna puke, and of course I puked all over them. So that's another reason probably why I got arrested. But I get out the next morning, and no one knows where my car is. And they were supposed to tow it. No one knew where my car was. It was in the middle of downtown Los Angeles, and it was a Jaguar. So I was just freaking out. I ended up finding it literally like 3 or 4 blocks away from where I got arrested, with all of my windows rolled down. Like, every CD I've ever had, like, gone. Everything that I had in my car was just completely gone. So I had heard that I'm jumping ahead to the story a little bit. So fast forward about a year later, I paid all the fines. He took me to community service. He took me to my alcohol classes, so many court dates, so much money.
I had to put, this was the other thing. They made her
get a California license.
And while she had to do that,
this was after, though.
They made her put in a breathalyzer into her car.
Okay, let me finish the story first. So, fast forward a year later, and I am coming out of my apartment, and it's just a normal day. I think I was on my way to Orange County, actually. And I get out, and someone is following me, and it was a unmarked police car, so it was an undercover cop. And they pulled me over at that Wendy's, like in the shopping center on Sunset. Mm-hmm. And they took my car away from me and said that it's going to be a 30-day police hold because I was driving under a suspended license. And mind you, they gave me my license back. They said I did not have any restrictions or anything, like, after my last court date, to completely, like, get rid of it off of my record and everything. So they told me I could drive. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So whenever all this happened, I had to go to court again. And they were like, yeah, you're driving under a suspended license. This is like, it was just such a fucking issue. And they made me go get a California license. But
the stipulations of getting the California license were
that you have to go and take the driving test in a California licensed car with the registration and another person. No one out here, or you were the only person that I knew that really had a car.
Yeah,
I feel like. And but we went to the DMV probably like 7 or 8 times before this. And then now they're saying that we had to have a breathalyzer in my car in order to get my license. And so, you have to pay, like, it's like called SR22. Then you have to get some kind of weird insurance, blah, 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 blah.
And she goes, well, you guys took my car. I don't have it anymore.
And so, mind you, that 30-day police hold, they told me that I could go back and get it, but it would be $5,000. And so I tried to go get it back as soon as those 30 days were up, and they were at 8 a.m., and they said, oh, and mind you, I called them to ask the timing and everything so I could get my car back. They literally said that they sold it. It went to auction at midnight, and a car dealership has it. And I saw my car at a Target about a month later, and I still had my keys, and I went up to it and opened the door. And it had a motherfucking baby on board sticker. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? No. Oh, dear God.
Jesus.
But anyway, getting back to the SR22 thing, the little breathalyzer deal, they took my car. So I had no car at this point. Well, we had to put it on Christian's car. And
never had a DUI, never been in trouble. and I'm driving around with a fucking breathalyzer in my car, and it caused so many problems. I would literally go to a photo shoot. I remember I was in an Ethica photo shoot, my underwear sponsor, and we were at a house shooting, and everybody had like Coronas and stuff. It was like a beach day, like take photos, be comfortable. And I remember drinking one Corona, and then they were like, okay, we're going to move to the next spot. Let's go jump in our cars and like cruise up the beach a little bit. And I, not even close to drunk, not even close to buzzed, nothing, like just had a few sips of this Corona, and I go and jump in the car, and because it just happened, I blow in the thing and my car won't start. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
There was that one time super early that I had freaking mouthwash. I brushed my teeth and put mouthwash in there, and we had a meeting like super early, and I was already running late, and guess what? I couldn't fucking start the car. It was BS. So I got my license. I'm all fine now, but they took my beautiful child away from me. And
yeah, they stole her car. Like literally just up and stole her car. Now I'm in the process of trying to get my license, and it's going back to the same situation of needing a licensed California driver and a licensed California vehicle with no problems. They literally do make you jump through so many hoops to do anything here. And it's like once they get you in this weird little like circle of like having to get stuff going and having to go to the DMV or going to court, they consume you with it, and it never ends, and it's mind-blowing that.
And I want to know how people with like regular full-time jobs can do this.
That was always my question. Like, there's the community of people who make money. There's people who live in Hollywood, in the Hollywood Hills, and they all make way too much money. So it's obvious as to how they're able to live here. It's easy for them. Their finances are set up. Because of the way the finances are set up out here, they get more than 50% of the money that comes through, basically, in this 1% of the people. But then you go to the underprivileged neighborhoods. We could do a lot of work with people in Compton and this under youth privilege camp, and when you drive through the neighborhoods there, I've always been so confused because it's these really raggedy homes, but they're still $2,000-$3,000 mortgages, and I'm so confused on like how a normal person, like a single mother, can live like that even in those shittiest conditions. That's why like the poverty level in those places are just so weird and like so low. They can't get away from it. They were born here, and so they don't know any different. They don't know that if you just move out to Colorado or Utah, that your finances would be so much easier. You could actually survive off of a Walmart job or
it's insane. It is insane.
Basically, moral of the story is California's full. Don't move out here.
It fucking sucks.
If you do, prepare for hell, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, I guess. We have some really cool stories. Our autobiographies when we're 80 are going to be pretty damn interesting from living out here.
That is for sure.
But in the meantime, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't watch all these Instagram influencers that live out here.
No, because those bitches probably are so fucking broke too.
Oh, they are for sure.
Like,
I don't know why
God.
I mention memes so much, but they all just relate to our show so much. I saw one that was like, somewhere out there's an Instagram influencer bitch with 150,000 followers putting on her lotion like this, and it's her getting the last little squeezes off of the straw from the pump.
I just did that. I'm just kidding. I did. But it was because I was just too lazy.
Squeezing the toothpaste as hard as we can to get the last little drop. I'm just kidding. We're not that bad.
No.
But that's because we're hustlers, baby.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You gotta be in this town. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old roommates like literally stole everything from me. I went to a brunch at Saddle Ranch with some Texan friends of mine that were in town, and I came back to my apartment empty and ransacked and a note on the door saying like the 30 days to pay or whatever, because I had no idea that they weren't paying their rent because we all did it via portals, so I only saw mine. And I just had a great surprise. My TV was gone. My shelves were gone. Like sentimental, like mugs that I had gotten, like from, this is really embarrassing, like Vampire Diary shit, you know? Like, come on. No, like, it was all gone. And I've never heard from them since then.
It's because you weren't able to get them any further in Hollywood. you would reach your max on their ladder.
I guess so. I mean, I got them into every single thing that they could ever have wanted, but you know,
Exactly.
that's none of my fucking business anymore. Not that I'm mad still, obviously. Now you can tell a little bitter berry over here.
You're cute, baby.
That's okay. What about you? Let's talk about your crazy tribulations out here.
From like same situation, I had my car taken by the city as well. Actually, when I first moved out here, I had a really cool little SUV that was just perfect for me. It was paid off.
Pro tip though, if you are moving to LA, never sleep on your parking tickets. Always pay them, because my car once got towed for that, and it was on my mom's birthday, and I felt awful, and she had to help me get it out. So
that sucks on her birthday.
On her birthday. But that's a whole nother issue. But yeah, always pay your freaking parking tickets, because those fuckers will come after you.
It's the city. They'll come after you for anything, baby. So yeah, when I first moved out here, I had this dope little like SUV. Wasn't anything special. It wasn't a G-Wagon. That's for goddamn sure. But it got me from A to B.
Yeah.
I love that thing. It was paid off. My insurance was like $60 a month, and like that's pretty much all I could afford at the time. So I was stoked, and I was working in this warehouse building skateboard ramps for OC Ramps. Shout out OC Ramps. And I was barely getting by because, once again, I was paying so goddamn much money in rent. And even though I had a roommate at the time, it was like we shared a place, and I think we were both paying like $700 a month, which was
wow, that sounds amazing right now.
That would kill for that. But at the time, it was like unbelievable. I came from Utah where I was paying like $200 a month for rent. And so I was working all the time to pay my rent, and I could barely afford it. And I didn't have a parking pass for my apartment neighborhood. And I kept getting tickets saying, you can't park in here, you can't park in here. And so I was like, all right, yeah, I just got to go park on the streets. And so sometimes I would have to skate like a half a mile just to get back to the apartment from wherever I parked. And
which
it was
is
a mission.
so usual. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so common.
And one night I had worked like this crazy day, got home at like midnight or something. I was beyond tired. There was no parking on the streets. There was just nothing anywhere. And I was like, oh my God, I have to just go to sleep. I need to go to bed. And I had a commercial the next morning. It was like one of my first big commercials that I was filming. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to be up super early. It's like, they're not going to mess with my car. I'll be out of here before they even get to me.
Nope.
Parked in the neighborhood, like right outside my apartment. I woke up at like 5:30 to start getting ready for this commercial. And I ran outside my apartment, and my car was not there. They had towed it. I didn't have the money to like get it out, and I literally played this like month-long battle with the DMV or the tow truck yard where they would be like, oh, it's $500 today. And so I would literally scrounge money from everywhere that I could, like call parents and freaking cousins and shit, and would save up $500 that day. And the next day I would go in to go get it out, and they'd be like, oh no, it's $575 today. It was here for another day. It's $575, and I wouldn't have $75, so I would go and spend the whole day trying to get $75.
Oh, that's
and show
so
up
sad.
the next morning and be like, oh, okay, I got the $575, and they're like, it's $650 today. What do you mean? It's another day. And so I literally played this game for so long. They just drained my bank account, and I got to the point where I couldn't get it back. It was up to like $1,700 or something.
It's like just not worth it.
And I was like, I paid $1,500 for this fucking car in the first place out in Utah. Like, I can't do this anymore. And they ended up keeping my car and sold it in some auction. And 4 months later, I'm driving around with one of my buddies, and I just see it drive past. And it had all my same stickers.
Are you serious?
Everything in it.
Don't you
just
fucking
like,
hate that? I want to, I still have my Jaguar keys.
That's so funny. I
will
still have
never-
those keys, actually. I still have those.
Well, we need to, like, if we do find it, my mom told me to go steal it.
No, because that's what happens. That's what California will do to you. They piss you off so bad that they will push you to the edge, and then once you jump, then they catch you and they
I'll
throw you in the
fucking
slammer.
move for that car.
And they
I will
say,
move. I will hide out.
Oh, you think you're cute and you're funny and you got to sneak into your Jaguar? Well, how do you feel sitting in jail for 60 days? Because they'll do that shit to you. They'll fuck you.
You know, I would just move and be like undercover, for a while.
Throw it all away for a joyride in the Jag.
Fuck yes. 'Cause it was wrongly taken away from me, Nova.
They are all
I
wrongly
miss
taken
you.
away.
Yes.
Like, nobody in any other state would go through the time and effort to fucking fuck somebody that hard. Like, that's all it comes down to, is they are trying to fuck you so you leave. Because it's overpopulated, and they want to prove to you that you can't be here unless you are a millionaire. And if you are a millionaire, then you have to pay millions of dollars in taxes that they get to collect. So it's like, if you're poor, we're sick of fucking paying for you, because all of downtown is nothing but a homeless shelter, the entire fucking city.
Oh, downtown is awful. If you guys are on Instagram, which, who isn't, follow, I think it's LA Street People.
Yeah.
Right? Is that it?
I think so. My phone's
LA Street
on.
People. But their account is crazy. It like kind of shows you like really awful things that are going down downtown, like just the homeless crisis / like the drug problem that everyone has, and like literally in our old neighborhood in Sherman Oaks.
On Ventura Boulevard, which is like a very nice shopping center area that a lot of people go and shop on.
So many kids are there all the time. Like, it's a very family-friendly place.
And there's a video of a lady, I think in her nail salon, and she has a really cute little fountain out in front of her store, right on the sidewalk where all these kids stop and play in the water or whatever. And this little crackhead is rinsing out his freaking needle in the water.
Disgusting. Where little kids will go and throw pennies,
babies splash it as they're walking by, and then there's dudes literally like in the middle. There's a guy sitting at a table at LA Cafe while normal people around him are eating sandwiches, and he's fully ripping a meth or crack pipe like
in public, in broad daylight. It's insane.
Huge clouds, like it's a weed pipe at Lowell Farms Cafe.
You would honestly think with the amount of money that everyone pays to live in this godforsaken city, that they would at least have the decency to go fix up these areas and make that not okay. How can people go and sit down in a restaurant? And mind you, LA Cafe is one of my favorite places ever.
They got really good food.
They have amazing food. What the fuck though?
I don't know what I would do if I saw that.
How is that legal? But then we get fucked, royally fucked. It's insane.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, you can smoke crack at LA Cafe and you can wash out your crack needles on Ventura Boulevard. But if you park in your apartment complex the wrong time, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're a bad criminal.
I spent the night in the LA County Jail.
All for that.
Are you serious?
She was not drunk. Oh my God.
Oh,
and
God.
now they're saying that they're paying the homeless.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
I was I don't know what we were going to say. I feel like that's interesting. We should now.
No, just about the DMV situation and them saying my license and everything, but that we're not going to get into that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's for a later time. We're still dealing with this shit. I still haven't got my California driver's license,
Bullshit.
Which I thought I did. They gave me a permit, which I thought was my license, and I was waiting for my ID to show up, and then I read the fine print, and it says, you have to come back and take another fucking test.
Anyway, okay, sorry, a little tangent on how pissed I am.
Yeah, and how ridiculous they make it to live out here. But what were we talking about? Sorry.
You were the crack pipes, making it Lowell Farms out in, out in downtown. You can just rip it in public.
Yeah.
Fucking nasty.
I was going to say something else, but I can't even remember.
Shit, sorry. I fucked that one up.
No, you're good, baby.
I always do that. It drives him fucking crazy.
Turn into Kyle and want to punch him drywall.
My freaking ADD, he just doesn't stop. I'm and especially now that I don't take Adderall, because that normally makes me normal-ish. Whatever. I thought I was 110% fine on that. But meanwhile, Christian's over here still smoking a backwood, still on his tobacco shit.
I just want to go back to a fucking puffer.
You came so far.
I know, baby.
Even though I
just
did cold
get
turkey
rid of it.
for you. Cold turkey.
I know.
How does that feel?
I'm like a loser.
Good. I'm just kidding.
That's what I have to deal with on a daily, people. Thanks, baby.
You're welcome, babe.
You're cute.
Always the encourager, for sure.
So, other than dealing with Los Angeles and them trying to fuck us some more. What else do we have on the horizon? We got like 5 minutes left in here.
So our stuff with Lumber Union actually is very exciting. We're finally getting the samples very soon.
And these are some of the collection items, not from our collection, but just from one of their first drops that they have. And these are a couple of our favorites.
Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I won't say the brand. But I had a meeting while you were out of town. Well, it wasn't really a meeting. We just had drinks and like kind of bullshitted. But we were talking about everything, and a huge brand is collabing with Lumber Union, and it's going to be at the same time that ours is out, and we're going to do a partner thing.
Our line's dropping, and you're going to see a bunch of Fairfax kids lined up to get all our shit. I'm excited. Take all your fucking money, you fuckers.
Hey, remember whenever you said, you know, like maybe we'll get a big break?
This could be it.
This could be it.
I'm telling you. Oh my God, you guys, this is the one. Until next month.
Yeah.
No, but
oh God,
we're hustlers, baby. We'll have this one, and then we'll have 5 more next month, and then we're gonna have some huge sponsor come and pay us millions of dollars to do our podcast from now on, and then we're going to have a reality show with Lumber Union, and Amazon's going to pay us millions of dollars, and then that's our big break.
For sure. That is our big fucking break.
Or we just give it all up and move to Texas.
I don't know. I'm kind of fine with that, too.
Psych. I don't know. Our full retirement plan is to end up in Orange County, Dana Point, but we'll have a property in Utah. We'll have a property in Texas.
And in New Orleans.
Because
New Orleans is my favorite city in the entire
world. And a penthouse in New York, so you can be a
live out my
girl.
Gossip Girl fantasies.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, please. You're saying, okay, wait. You're saying, with all like Gossip Girl shit, whenever. Meanwhile, last night, okay,
You're really going to call me out?
I am, just because you just said that.
This is Relationshit at its fullest, guys.
Yes,
and
exactly.
If every guy doesn't fucking fess up to this kind of shit, you ain't in a relationship. You're just stunting.
So, pretty much, that's very true. But I have been, I've always been obsessed with the Real Housewife franchise. Like, obviously.
You've always been obsessed with reality TV.
Yeah,
I'm
just
a reality
a huge
TV star, so you have to be.
Well, exactly. Thanks. I'm like a C-list reality TV star.
C+, baby.
Thank you, baby. Are you fucking
kidding me? You're a D+. Just kidding.
Hey, I will take that because reality TV gave me these titties, so whatever.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, what the fuck was I even saying? Oh, okay. So we love Orange County. Like, Orange County Housewives are my favorite just because they're the originals. Like, they're amazing. They're so great. Vicky and Tamra will always be my ride or die bitches. But Christian has been loving the Housewives of Orange County, loving it. So every single time, like, we need background noise, I always pop on, like, some old episodes with Jesus Jugs.
Jesus Jugs.
Last night, he asked me, is that Jesus Jugs? I was like, oh, my God. Proud
I'm
fucking girlfriend
names to
moment.
faces, I'm, like, starting to get the storyline.
Yeah, and so last night, it was on, like, background. Well, I thought it was background, but we were smoking and everything, like with Princeton, just having fun, whatever. And I'm like, babe, you can change it. Like, it's okay. You can change it. He's like, no, it's okay. It's like an hour goes by. Oh, babe, you can still change it.
That's
it's okay. We ended up falling asleep.
She fell asleep. I never fell asleep.
Yeah, he kept watching it, but So we just had an Orange County, or Real Housewives of Orange County freaking marathon last night. It was great. I'm loving it because he loves it so much.
And it's hilarious, too, because when me and Sloane first met, we met when we both lived in Orange County, and she had no idea this whole time, but they lived right up the street from us.
I'm so mad that I didn't go on more walks or anything.
And Coda de Casa, which was literally a mile from our front door. And it's so funny because every time I tell her, she's like, I wish we could have stalked them. And now that we watched the show, I'm like, hey, babe, there's that Togo's that we used to go to every day.
It's
so
sad.
See, yeah,
it's
that right there.
Fucking sad.
It's hilarious. But we need to, maybe we'll just start doing road trips down to Orange County and hanging out in those areas again. And if we just run into them, we go, hey guys, you're our favorite. We host this really successful podcast.
I would fucking
You guys should come join us. And then maybe they put it out to all their followers and we become hugely successful. And that's what does it, babe.
Oh my God. I know. That's the plan, babe.
Yeah.
That's the fucking plan.
That's the one that's going to make us a milli.
Oh, yeah. Tamra, Vicky, anyone. Even Gretchen and Slade. No, Gretchen and Slade were my worst.
I want the doctor and his wife because they
they're
have
not
the prettiest.
on it anymore. Heather and Terry Dubrow.
Okay, so we get them to talk all the mad shit behind the scenes.
Yes.
Because I like him. He's the plastic
hilarious.
surgeon
From
on Botched.
Mm-hmm. I make Christian watch all of the plastic surgery episodes because I fucking love it. Whenever, before I got my boobs done, I had researched the shit out of everything boob related. So I watched all these surgeries and
it makes you respect
a
good boob job, though.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm just obsessed with watching the grossest shit
She
ever.
just likes watching my face reactions while we watch these shows.
But we love Botched.
Yes.
We do. It's great.
And they had the prettiest house on the show.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Every time. So I was like...
And Heather is just a stand-up woman. She is hilarious, sarcastic, just talented, funny as fuck. All things that you would ever want in a woman. And she's it.
Except for you, baby. You're everything I want in a woman.
Yeah, bitch, you have to say that.
Oh,
Come
wow.
on.
No, I do not. I do not.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Before we get out of here, can I just say that I'm trying to perfect this Ron Jeremy? And
Yes.
For
I'm
you
obsessed.
listeners, you can't see it, but I'll let Sloane talk about how sexual it is.
God, it's super sexual. I've been in love. I told him, I was like, why don't we do a little thing and just, keep
Don't
that.
cut the
Just
porn
keep
stash.
it. I love it.
So I kept it. And I'm going to keep keeping it.
My
Take
mom
you on
was
a little
super
mustache
offended.
ride later on today, baby.
Oh, God. My mom was like, no. Delete that.
Well, we're going to get out of here on some Motley Crue, and I'm going to give you a mustache ride on the way home.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Relationshit Radio. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you. Peace. Wait.
Do it. Smoke us on out of here.